surprises, anything standing out to you here? Because this looks par for the course for me.
Yeah, it does. It's actually the only real difference here is actually no apologies. Yeah, Mazzino is on the Viper here, and again, composition wise, it's going to be difficult really to make any sort of expectations on the side of KRU, with this obviously not having any fresh data to go off from the Challengers finals at least. But no surprises on the side of Fnatic. You know, the last few times we've seen them play IceBox, it's been Durka doing Durka things, right? And actually, you know, shout out as well, Doma flexing onto the stage. We know actually that's more of a recent change for Fnatic, and it's looked really, really good for them.
Okay, so a little bit of a mirror matchup. Quite like that. I guess you get to see I guess it's not the agent that makes the difference, it's the player behind it, which is always a nice concept to keep in mind. And it does look as though we are almost ready to get this one started up. Now, all eyes turn towards KRU to try and bring this one back. Now, keep in mind, this is Fnatic's choice coming into it, and I think that we all said if it goes to a third map, that's where maybe those win conditions for KRU could kick in, but they need to close this down. Fnatic going to be kicking things off on the attacking side, and KRU on the defensive side.
Actually, early on, Zeno and Delzik. Actually, Delzik going to wall up and potentially get onto the top of green here, but at least for the time being, the double wall on B lane going to give them lots of control. Delzik actually going to opt to play close contact with Mazzino.
I mean, it's a one and done if they get checked on, but Mazzino straight up and over finds Boaster. That's a little bit of a shocker. Boaster's probably not happy with that, going to have to peel away, and again, that Viper wall's doing wonders for them here. Magnum, yes, can keep patrolling on this, make sure there's no aggression on the other side, but at this point, Fnatic are looking for their first step in. Mazzino spotted again, but this plays well for Delzik. Just being kept quiet in the cubby. Straight up Harry Potter here under the stairs. And Magnum's slow progress, but now going to be noted.
The alarm bot actually chasing Magnum all the way back through main stair. Got to respect it for the time being. Fnatic actually going to send a spike over towards A site now, and I think they've identified that at least the weaker side of this setup from KRU in terms of numbers. Nags actually comes through, finds a headshot but no kill, and the spike will get planted uncontested behind that wall.
Look, we have seen, though, KRU on these pistols have been pretty solid. The vast majority of their rounds. Delzik, though, does lose out to Mystic, who's keeping this one in check, but Mazzino's also doubled down. Yeah, and I don't... They're kind of checking on it, but they haven't noted him at all. Durka's still here as well. And look at Doma just keeping himself quiet, surrounded by KRU players. Nagzit's going to find Durka. Mazzino does find Mystic, but keep your eyes on Doma. What can he do from here? Now going to be feeling the burn. Has to try and do something. Nagzit denies. Now Magnum left. In a 1v4, denial would be difficult. Does get the first cleanly, but the defuse is coming in. Whether he wants it or not, he can't do anything about it. And KRU going to keep that pistol record high, at least.
Yeah, it's unfortunate as Mazzino just slipped through, and I think that Nags was picked up, and the timing was actually really unfortunate for Fnatic, right? Because they find that kill and they think, oh, there's probably going to be one more flanking, right? Mazzino's able to just sit and survive on Bell, and you can see Mystic actually resetting for the lineup. See right here, does get it off, but unfortunately doesn't find that kill. Only 4 shots left in the Classic as well for Mazzino, so right down to the wire there, but well played nonetheless on the double flank.
Now, by coming back in, it's a buy from Fnatic on this, as much as they can at least. Marshall out, Sheriffs, bits and pieces, SMGs as well with light armor, then they're not going lightly into this one, and a tag is going to be a little bit of a problem. Nagzet can back away, try and get that HP back up, but now getting put on notice, they know something's astray, and Fnatic trying to just take map control here, take site control. You can see the dividing line coming out, at least from Viper here, trying to keep the enemies further back. The wall going to keep safe for the spike plant, and now into the post plant. This is where Fnatic can become an exceedingly strong team.
You can see them reset back now and rely on the strength of this post plant utility. Let's see, kill comes through initially. Nanoswarm going to force them off that initial diffuse tap, and KRU have got to come through and clear this here, Lauren.
Yeah, they have to get aggressive. You can't sit back on this. We know these post plants, you got to fight them. There's no two ways about it. Now Boaster and Durka, the last two alive here. And the flank from Boaster could be big. He does just about see the cape, but as the player taps away so gently, gets him off the spike defuse, but it is on halfway. And now all three start flooding through. There's nothing he can do. And Klaus comes back around, and they do convert the second up against a bit of a force buy.
Yeah, I mean, Fnatic come through, they get the plant, and really with a purchase like this, they're looking to get that clean spike plant, come away, reset, and play clean on that post plant. But right there, I mean, KRU are able to I guess damage control wise, back up, respect it initially, and then come through and use the numbers to their advantage. Just, I guess, take the fight with the right players early on.
Poison's gone.
Voiceover lines in slow-mo just really bring me life. Poison's gone. For now, though, back on a little bit of a piece-together purchase. Durka may be opting to try and kind of keep his economy working in the right direction. He is one of those hybrid oppers. He does not heavily depend on the op on this map, especially. It's something you'll get used to. He will run a rifle. There's been a couple of really nice statistic pieces done about him and specifically his work on it, so don't be too worried in that regard. On the other side, going to stick on what they've got. A couple of Spectres out, Sheriff for Mazzino, and Bulldog for BNJ to try and deal with this. Now, for now, it does just come down to Mazzino on this corner. Going to get the contact, fall back away, depend on the utility, just to create a bit of a one-way that he can utilize, and just slows down the push if Fnatic try to maybe springboard off the back of that.
And for the time being, Fnatic have to respect the one-way, but still only Nags and Mazzino over here. And only one member of Fnatic noted, so I guess that's why they're keeping 1 mid and 2 on A. But Boaster swings out, finds the freebie, and straight away they're going to go for this plant.
The rotations weren't leaning early. They were pretty far back. Now Boaster wants to take space and he gets it. That's huge work from Boaster. Now he can infiltrate enemy lines. He is behind the line of defense that they'd love to work back in from. Now 3 on the play back through. BNJ just received attack. That sets up Boaster. He just needs one of these shots to come through. He can't make it work for towards Nagzed, but now that's the first line of defense broken through. This retake still got some time on it. This is not going to be easy. Durka happy to take fights. Information found for BNJ. But now we are down to the 3 that did only have those sheriffs and the utilities there. But Nags is trying to get aggressive. He knows how to fight these post plants. He's doing whatever he can for it. Magnum needs to face this. The defuse is on halfway. Takes a second, and they're running out of time. Magnum tries to buy it. I think the round is all wrapped up. They somehow turn this around.
It's actually a really, really well-timed utility usage. Again, we know exactly what Fnatic are going to do in a situation like this. They're going to reset back to lane. A couple of players take close contact and try and run the clock down on yellow, and they do just that. I mean, Doma gets picked up for free, basically from the top rope, right? And actually on the back of that, Nags pops the Blade Storm, I guess, to take full control of lane, but at that point, the damage is already done, right? They have these snake bites. It's got like a 4 or 5 second hang time, and right there, just mathematically, it becomes impossible for KRU to recover this round, regardless of what they can get down on lane.
I'm surprised they didn't sit the defuse. If I'm honest, they had, what, 2 on the play back in. They got it halfway, sure, maybe I missed something there.
I don't think they can stick the half because they were both down to like sub 50 HP. So I don't actually think they had the HP to do it.
Interesting. But 2-1 though, Fnatic going to take that every day of the week. They're more than happy. And now you can see the economy has been kind of shaken up a little bit here. KRU going to be working with a little less than ideal. 3 lighter buys coming in. SMG. Or 2 SMGs, excuse me, a Marshall, and then 2 rifles, at least with Delzik and Mazzino. Think of them as the heavy hitters. Jump peek on the corner. A bit of info found, not too much though. And it will be waiting on the other side. The Killjoy here, Klaus. Maybe here in the spike plant, can't deny it though.
It comes through behind that double wall setup, and again, Fnatic going to get that clean plant. No damage down on the way in. They're going to be able to sit very deep now. Once again, expect Durka and Doma to try and run the clock down here. Force KRU to push all the way behind yellow. And actually, Durka comes through. Doma as well. They're going to find 3 kills.
You gotta love Doma when he has rounds like that. Doma just goes full turret mode. Does not need support, does not need help. Just goes straight to clutching out. Easily done for some. Doma making it look so simple there. All lining up for him, and he just makes it look easy. 2-2 now. Fnatic finding a little bit of that form, and I want to watch this back. So this was just off the back of that trade coming in, just straight up man-moding this. Look at that aim.
Dude. I mean, this is the thing. This is the thing, right? The beauty of this setup is you have 2 players like Durka and Doma, the ones that are like, well, yeah, we'll put them on yellow. If they find some kills, it will kill some time. But actually, they just come through and absolutely destroy KRU before they even get that retake going.
Ults out for Durka. We've seen this before. He loves to counter any oppers that might try and get a little saucy with the peaks down towards B long, but he's got a lot of attention towards middle here. Delzik's close. Side. They're both super close. Durka, hyper aware of his angles, though, going to dip back around, trying to play it as safe as possible. Now, again, they are up against pistols, and only light armor on BNJ, so not too much of a threat, but Let's see if they can keep this clean. Durka can at least win the angle now and start building up, but you could probably see a quick flank from those two pushing up in mid if they feel bold enough, but even then, you still got Magnum lingering around.
That's the thing here with, I was going to say, yeah, they need to find something on this mid push or come across and back up Mazzino, because he's going to get overwhelmed very quickly. And actually Mazzino able to escape effectively. Delzik now not able to escape. It's tagged on the Aljo, Durka there to punish him.
Spike planted.
Durka's just taken so much map control, so much spaces here. He's such a nuisance. Yeah, he loses his life, but by now, this is where you have to see if KRU can find some more. They've maybe cracked open the first step. That's big, though. Doma goes down. Now, the last three, let's look at these positions that they currently hold. They're not ideal, but Magnum, there's that mid-lurk from him coming in super valuable at this point. Boaster takes the fight, loses the fight. KRU are doing everything they can for this Mystic. Didn't need to go for it, but he just styles on them in the end. The defuse was kept safe regardless. The utility still in play, but Mystic just making it look stylish, even though KRU did get close.
Right, so the big thing to note here, and I was just about to say, they need to find something from that mid push because, again, here's another round where they've not been able to pressure this deep setup on B lane, right? We know, expectation-wise, they must anticipate what's coming, right? They get the clean spike plant, they know they're going to reset all the way back and just play utility. The hit needs to come through much earlier from KRU. Yes, pistols on that round, a frenzy, a sheriff here or there, but on the buy round, I want to see them adjust and address this post plant.
Nagzet straight on the op here. Let's see how he looks with this one. We're sitting deep towards back of A. Rinse and repeat. It looks like somewhat for Fnatic, still leaning towards that B site. Klaus could be the one tasked with dealing with this.
Yeah. It's actually as well with Magnum sat here again. The Viper's bit invested on A. Magnum can kind of read into this that there's not really going to be any aggression. Mystic actually going to respond with a Viper's bit of his own on B over default. Hunter's Fury also invested from Boaster. It's going to allow this plant to come through. And once again now, I want to see KRU send somebody flanking. They need to come through and pressure the back line.
Yeah, but by now Durka's already finding frags. You could have maybe seen that flank coming out from Mazzino, maybe, but even then, look at them, they're just funneled in. Both Killjoys investing. This is messy as anything. So many ults online right now, but Boaster doesn't care, neither does Durka. This is going to be KRU having to back away. They have nothing to work out of this one. They can maybe make it costly, but that's not the win that you want here. Yeah, it's time to get out of there, but you could already see the hunt starting to begin. Mystic's happy to try and take some of these rifles away if they can get to them in time, but so much was just invested in that round. And it still works out at a 4v2, and it's going to be down to just one rifle remaining for Delzik, and Magnum's closing in as well.
This is brutal. And the problem right there is you invest a lockdown on B, it only gives you control of sight. Now, knowing that Fnatic are going to play on lane, that lockdown in lane is always going to yield a better result, because they have to come through and push. And especially if they get planted, you know, a 1 second offset, it's always the attacker's lockdown that's going to last longer.
Straight above the ult. Durka just lovely.
Actually, it was actually on yellow. No, it wasn't. It was on lane. Apologies. So the mini map actually on rotation there caught me off guard. I was like, they actually put the lockdown on yellow for a second there.
4-2, and we need to see KRU break the trend of the rifle rounds just not being their friend.
Yeah.
We really need to see them get a rifle round on the board here, and it looks like Mazzino wants to take matters into his own hands, going to try and get aggressive and lose his life. Mystic happy to take the attention away. It looks like they want to get aggressive, and they're trying to do this at range against rifles. That's lovely from BNJ, but it doesn't make for much at this point. Nagzet going to have to fall away from this too. The aggression, yes, it found one. Not particularly that impressive at this point.
No, and the fact that the first time we're seeing KRU really explore any early round territory is on a round like this with this purchase is kind of unfortunate to see. Yes, it's a big risk on a buy round, but they have to. They have to fight for this. They can't keep giving up the plants. It just plays into Fnatic's hands. They're actually going to land a nice couple of shots with the Sheriff there onto Durka. Remove one weapon off the table at least. Magnum there to greet Klaus in mid. Means he actually got the armor here, so could potentially go hunting. I don't think actually on a round like this. Okay, not going to matter at all.
Doma says no. Here's the thing, right? Like, here's the actual kind of scary fact to me is that Fnatic haven't been doing anything wild. We've seen a solid B take so far with a little bit of a late mid hold coming out from
Look at the numbers, Lauren. Look at the numbers. Like, there's not a lot of this in terms of actual kills. These are going back and forth. It's the fact that, like I said, clean rounds come through. Fnatic don't even need to fight in the post plant. They don't need to.
We go again. KRU, look, they have timeouts available. I'd love to see them call a tactical timeout if they really start feeling they don't have a simple answer to this. And it looks like a different look coming out this time as well. We spoke about what they traditionally do, but you can see the switch up. It looks like maybe off the back of the chance of that op purchase coming out, or just simply thinking it's time to go for the switch up here. And Doka does it! What? He just Ferrari peeks an op! Like I said, just got deleted. The body bag's just being zipped up as we speak. That's nasty from Durka.
That's the first time somebody's played on top of yellow as well. So Durka's literally just full swung. Oh my word.
Unreal stuff. Must be nice to have someone like him. But now Klaus, again, we haven't seen too many of these rifle rounds leaning towards this A site. So KRU are going to have to be sitting a little bit deeper. They've lost part of the site control enough of the extent that they'll probably give up the plant. But Fnatic taking a pause for thought here, clearing utility as they go. Not in a massive hurry just yet.
They're actually playing this deep enough. Actually, Klaus will come through, find a trade. I was going to say, I think they're playing deep enough to allow the Hunter's Fury to come through, but no tag on the plant here, and BNJ will find the second and third, and the res comes through, so man advantage in favor of KRU on this retake.
Mystic is still alive. Keep your eye on this post plant. This is where things start becoming a problem. They do have the extra body to put down to at least try and pull this retake off. BNJ could be the first one forward. Trade comes in. Delzik stays alive. Mazino does find Magnum. Is on Durka now. Diffuse could be toyed with. Not just yet. Durka just checks on it for a second. Goes back. No way. Dives out. Slices them up. Huge work from Durka. Again, he starts the round with a bang and he closes it. Just shuts the book on them.
Oh my word. What a round from him. Like you said, opens it up with an insane headshot over on B lane, closes things out. The Red Bull clutch coming from Durka here. The Blade Storm absolutely on peak. It's beautiful.
Enemy remaining.
Unbearably good. Durka has had a performance. Welcome to the big leagues, boys, girls. This is something else, truly. This is Durka saying, yeah, no worries, boys. I got you. I got you. We got this. And KRU, yeah, they can get aggressive right now. We see them do this in their kind of half buys, their force buys, but they need this to land. And Durka's just on one. Everything's just feeling right for him. We do see the Vipers pushed up in the form of Mazino, taking a little bit of space, but keep in mind, they've got the SMGs, they've got Sheriffs, they've got Frenzies. It ain't much to play with, even with this slightly above average position. This could be nice. No, Durka just turns on him. This guy is having a series now. He's just feeling it. He wants to just go in, and they might as well here. They've got the numbers. So a 4v3 towards the site.
So Delzik and Nags are actually pretty close already on default here. Durka goes exploring. We'll find another one. He spots one out coming through from Kitchen. Klaus. Not much longer for this world, I think, if Durka decides to swing once again. Actually, as I say, Dave, we'll find the Sheriff headshot, but all the meanwhile, Magnum got himself a beautiful lurk all the way into Kitchen here. Going to be able to cut off this rotation, and all this information plays into Fnatic's favor. They have control of A site, get the plant down for free, and Magnum can just play deathmatch here.
And look, if you're new to Fnatic, if you maybe hadn't watched too much EU Valorant, hey, look, I don't blame you. I get it. NA's exciting. They have all the flashiness, but you got players like Durka out here, right? Now, these were the firepower upgrades that Fnatic invested into. Durka and Magnum, they brought them on at a really risky time. This was a huge investment of them to try and bring this firepower. Now, Klaus does very nicely. But very unlikely the round goes anywhere other than expected, of course. So at this point...
You see both.
Just checking. I just wanted to make sure I could hear the sound then. For I'm like, oh, no. I've seen weirder things. It's not going to happen. Don't worry about it. But once again, this was Fnatic investing in two not unknown players, but not, you know, metal-tested players. You think about some of the other names out there. Exactly. Unproven players. And they were young guns coming in who definitely caught the attention of other EU teams, but at this point, they are worth their weight in gold. We've already seen that come through, so big moves from Fnatic at the right time. The plug-and-play players of these guys just looking fantastic. Look at that snap from him. And now, again, we asked the question, KRU in these rifle rounds, where have they been?
Well, once again, then Mazzino goes exploring B lane with a Spectre. I want to see a little more of a setup. Now, the problem is, the one time they've tried to make an adjustment, Nagset got absolutely destroyed with that operator. Again, you're going to see him post up deep here on B. But again, I don't think it really addresses the problem at hand, right? Which is Fnatic getting so much control on front site on B that they're able to just run the clock down. They're able to just reset. They're able to just basically wait for KRU to make a move. And every single time it's this kind of disjointed retake where there's no real utility investment. It's just a couple of swings out on the back of Mazzino's wall if he's still up. There's no real challenge towards the back line of Fnatic.
No, they're not displacing any of it. It's, again, to the extent they're challenging the post plants, but even then, I want it to be earlier. I want them to...
Exactly.
They need a little more to it, a little bit more of a fire burning underneath them.
The thing is, Mazzino's happy to give up B side, which I like. Again, it's not as if he's dying and leaving it wide open, but the fact that he's backing away and then everybody comes through mid, they're all stacking up in kitchen, they're stacking up towards Snowman. There's nobody coming through to challenge Magnum on that lurk, and he has so much information. So much information, and at that point, Fnatic don't need to move at all. The fact that Durka and Doma keep just... I'll say it, overstepping on yellow and finding a lot of value doing it. Don't get me wrong, they're finding kills consistently doing it. But right there, again, it comes down to the fact that KRU just peeking one by one in the retakes. And they're peeking with the wrong players. It's Durka and Doma, which don't matter at all when you think bigger picture.
Yeah, and they're happy to be frontline players. They'll take that hit. That's absolutely fine. They'll just try and, as I said, put body on the line to protect Mystic. But at 7-2, the tactical timeout does finally dissipate. KRU, hopefully they've come up with an idea. We've got to see what they change up, what they do in this, because they have been overrun. We need to see a stop to the rot. 7 rounds sitting in the pocket of Fnatic, 2 towards KRU. And it looks like they are trying to show a lot of presence towards long here. They're looking for those early fights. Maybe this is a switch up and they lose to Durka. For now, he stays alive with 56 HP. There's still another player here. Finally, Mazzino gets it. The double down from Mazzino's big. That's map control. Fought for and won. But Klaus is going to hear all this. He knows this player's coming his way, and now there's a time limit on it. What does he do? He looked lost.
Boaster?
He looked... I don't know how Boaster gets away with it, 1, and how 2, Klaus just looked like he wasn't ready for it. At this point, now we're down to 2, BNJ and Mazzino. Magnum spots him out on the flank. Fnatic, they're all encompassing right now. As finally Mazzino wins that fight on long, the instant flex on the push towards A.
It's beautiful to watch as Mazzino's going to get caught knife in hand, but the contingencies in place from Fnatic, it's actually crazy. Again, in another scenario, Durka finds value there and finds the kill onto Mazzino, finds the opening on B. Yes, Delzik comes through and actually repeating what they did in the pistol round, right? To try and contest control of top green, and Mazzino puts down actually a snake bite on there, and Delzik comes through to try and challenge inside the cloudburst. Somehow, again, through all that, Durka still wins the 1v1. Again, that's a different story. They find that, Mazzino comes through, finds 2 kills, and they're set up to then just completely collapse onto A.
Okay, we go again. Let's see if this can maybe change something up here. Ult now invested as well. Several ults invested into this one as best they can. KRU are going to throw everything that they can into this. However, no early victory off the back of it, maybe thwarting a little bit of that B lane control, but at this point, we have to wait and see where Fnatic take themselves to. The first time they've been kind of fought away from the extremities of this map.
We see the same adjustment here with Mazzino over towards A side with the Viper's Pit. Going to try and garner some territory control. He's going to spot out the alarm bot inside. Actually going to get dealt with as well. But 3 players of Fnatic stacked up outside. Actually, it's Mystic and Durka tucked in behind the wall in tube. So again, a little bit of a fake here from Fnatic to show some presence on A, as if they're going to contest Mazzino's ult.
I mean, this is a whole new look to things as well. We haven't seen a mid-piece coming out from Fnatic. Yes, maybe KRU have addressed the issues in the previous rounds, but let's see how much space they get here.
30 seconds left.
Down to 30. That mid-piece. Oh no! Delzik gets caught in the middle of it. Klaus and BNJ still going to do well, though. Klaus playing so well, trying to make up for all the problems that they've had here. Nagset just with the pistol in his hand, just trying to buy the time. 15 seconds. Where is that spike? It is with Mystic right now, on towards the site itself. Tries to get a quick plant through, and it looks like so he's going to get it. Klaus is right on by. Nagzet by his side. There's a 3v2 now. Play back in. Zeno just trying to keep this one in check, and you can see the pit's a little unique here.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say, but this Viper's pit is actually pretty toxic.
No.
It's
Mystic. Oh,
so awkwardly
they can't
set
get
up.
on it. This is horrible, and Doma is just being such a problem. He doesn't even need to repeat this. He's just biding time, keeping the pressure away from Mystic again. And you can see Mystic don't need though help. He's fine. Nagzet goes down. Klaus gonna be down to 1 HP. And just, yeah, there's nothing to be done. This is one of those strats. It's one of those little pieces, those pocket pieces from Fnatic that just terrify teams, and for the right reasons. This was a switch up. This was a bit of a different look. We'd seen those pieces run through towards B constantly, a little switch up towards the A hit, but then that mid look coming out, the setup coming through. Mystic, again, great play on the Viper.
Yeah, it is. And the big thing here is Fnatic showing versatility versus KRU that are just unable to really show us. I mean, yes, comparison to Haven, they're showing a few different setups here on defense, but it's their inability to adapt to what's going on. Yes, they can find these kills, but like I said, it comes back to the contingencies. Fnatic are so well set up to deal with any variable that doesn't even go in their favor. They still recover the round.
And I don't think we need to sugarcoat the pill on this one. This has not been a good display yet from KRU, and I feel as though they're running out of options and time and rounds. At 9-2, you can hope, you can pray all you want, but at this point the rifle rounds are just evading you. Quick plant comes in. Doma does manage to keep his life for now. I don't know if escape's going to be an option, but Dirk is going to try and bail him out. Nagzet on the other side, and it's going to be Delzik to find Doma. So into the post plant we go. Let's see if they can disrupt this. First layer of utility now toyed with. Klaus did find Durka in the meantime. Now there's going to be further layers to this. Mystic invests his piece of utility. Mazzino needs to get involved in this now.
Lurk comes through though. Magnum perfectly positioned and actually going to be able to put the turret on the top. Mystic and Magnum combined to find the final two, and it's just so beautifully considered from Fnatic. Again, Magnum peels all the way away from that execute, and the entire time, nobody from KRU comes through mid, nobody once again comes to challenge Mystic, comes to challenge the backline, and Magnum absolutely punishes them for that.
I want to talk about Magnum a little bit as well, because yes, Dirk is obviously a highlight player, right? He makes the, you know, flashy plays in this, but the work that Magnum's been doing in mid, as just being able to deny those flanks, be a constant nuisance, always showing presence towards A if they're going for those B pieces, basically stopping them from ever really being able to do too much, and then him being late game proactive is really very impressive. He's shown really high diligence in that, and I think it's a skill that may not be rewarded enough, but I want to highlight here that Magnum's been playing his role very well. Now on the other side, we know KRU are pistol gods apparently, but again, they need to get all of the others that follow.
Come through. Actually, the wall going to go up through mid, and they're going to try and split through onto B. They might actually get a clean plant and connect it here. Magnum pop one down. Poster, okay, somehow finds a kill. A shock dart onto Nagzet there. I don't know if that was a lineup onto default, but the plant wasn't even there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that happened, but Magnum now going to be fed information. Zeno trying to work around this. This is messy, it's scrappy, it's an unorthodox piece, but Delzik going to find another, and this is looking like KRU release trying the best this time. Mazzino surprised, but again keeps his cool down to 2 now, and the angle's perfect for Mazzino. There's wait. Oh, okay, we're all good. We're all good. No threats came through, no problems came around, everything was kept in line. I get scared when I see like a little sage just fusing away, but no problems. It's all good. It's all good.
Two walls.
Yeah, I'm like, hold on, no. It's all good. It's all gravy. We're all gravy here, but it was scrappy for a little bit of time. But again, KRU and the pistols are great.
Yeah, really quick piece coming through, and again, there's not an awful lot Fnatic can really do to react to that. Again, they kind of just have to scrap, right? They just have to take that brawl over the execute. See, this time around, I know actually a bit of a different force up, but Sheriff's got a shorty on the side of Mystic actually. Again, one thing to keep an eye on here, Lauren, will be how Fnatic deal with B lane. You can see here, again, on the back of no contact shown. Actually, Mazzino playing very deep, actually, to just deal with any threat coming through. But especially on the buy rounds. I want to keep an eye on how Fnatic deal with this B lane control on defense.
Clean work so far from KRU here, coming up with 2 good kills. Spike's slowly working through, and yeah, Mazzino very aware that they might be trying to get a little bit cheeky with this, but not going to be going for much of it. And waiting down below, there is Mystic with an interesting choice of weapon. Nagset will be tilted off the face of the earth. Yep, off the back of that. You don't love to see it unless you're a Fnatic fan. Tries to dive back in for more, but not going to get it. And now Boaster. Last one here. Does get Mazzino, but okay, 2 kills. It's not enough to really make me worried for KRU's economy. They should be okay going forward. No spike plant to really write home about, but at this point, we can't talk small picture. You have to talk big picture when you've only got 4 rounds, right? Like, that's the sketchy part. It's like, yeah, we can talk about the economy, kind of the effect of it, trying to have to, you know, work out how to balance out the rifles you're going to be investing into. When do you invest into them? Because, again, you can't really afford to play long con here. You've got to be all in as soon as possible. And this is technically your bonus round, but you really need this one.
Yeah, they really do. The 6-round deficit here. And they got to win him clean as well. Fnatic. This is a 5-man lean from KRU. They're going to try and walk through maze here underneath Mystic. He's actually going to get spotted out by the Aldrin. Got to come away and back up, but early information at least gathered here. And Boaster actually a perfect crossfire to deal with that dash through from Nags. Oh, the crossfire beautiful from Mystic and Boaster there. 3 kills on the round already. Klaus and BNJ got to back up, but the spike's already lost.
It's deep into enemy territory, and the back's already covered. Yeah, the turret's there, but it doesn't matter. That whole retreat is covered off. They cornered in. BNJ and Klaus, they needed some damage, maybe a spike plant, get some rifles away, get some upgrades. That would have been perfect. And KRU watching their chances here slowly just dissipate, slip through the fingers. Klaus and BNJ, what can you do with this? Doma right, waiting. Mystic tucked in on the corner.
Player standing.
And well, BNJ gonna have to just face the music here. Flawless round coming through. Prime Gaming flawless round at that as well. But that's the, I guess, the most heartbreaking way for KRU to go through that one. You'd wanted those small bonuses, those little benefits that could maybe echoed into the next rounds, but now you're facing a disaster in front of you, which is Fnatic at full force with 11 rounds by their side, and you not having the bonus of at least a couple of rifles to bring through.
1 enemy remaining.
Yeah, this is
30 seconds left.
This is when it gets really, really tricky for KRU, because effectively it costed 1 more round, and that's gonna pull together a buy on this one. Only ultimate available on the side of Mazzino, and no decent progress elsewhere. Durka, again, look at it here. We're gonna lean away with Durka playing this deep. He gets on top of green, and actually now Doma can drift all the way away from B site. Especially now with Durka finding Mazzino in the backline.
Well, Mazzino was playing spawn again. Durka well aware of that from the previous rounds, and he's happy to be this pest. He can be the nuisance. Yeah. He can keep them constantly paranoid about the back lines, let alone what could be happening in middle, through tube potentially. And now they're having to back away. They've lost time potentially. They have to re-clear this if they do want to go back towards B. And there's threats. You can see them having to shoulder peek in, jiggle peek the corners, trying to hope for the best here, but waiting a little bit deeper now will be Durka. He does have as well, I think it's Doma by his side, so the D&D combo. But no, they opt to fall the other way, kind of re-aggress towards A, maybe feeling as though they've pulled enough of a rotation. Magnum did go towards B, so they do get at least now a favorable fight towards the A site.
Still got the wall, so potentially can run through and try and brute force this plant. I'll say that. Mystic actually going to fall off the rip here. Klaus finds that one. The wall will be invested on backside. Boaster actually able to poke a hole in it. It's an awkward plant actually by Delzik. It's tucked in the corner, so they can't actually play deep. It's not in sight. There's actually the Hunter Fury going to come through, nearly actually catching 3 members of KRU there. But elsewhere, Magnum, Durka, Doma all firing kills. Delzik, last man up now.
He has to just stand and fight. That's all he's got left. And Boaster outdoes him. It's going to be 12 on the board for Fnatic. And bear in mind, this ain't just map point. This is now going to be match point coming through. KRU, this is going to be heartbreaking in a round's time if they can't find an answer soon. As Fnatic have looked formidable thus far. There were question marks. We definitely theoried maybe a little bit of nerves could come into play. Some of these younger players, would it hinder them? Would it hamper them? But no, none of that has happened. They have looked exemplary so far.
They really have. And on a fundamental level, again, the other thing where we've seen Fnatic kind of fall short in some series is where they've just kind of lost that discipline factor. And right here, everything's so well considered. Like I said, the contingency's in place for everything they're doing, even if they lose 1 or 2 members.
Oh, Durka. He's pushing up. Keeps himself at least unchecked for now. If you crest that corner, he knows that they're right around there. He's seeing a pixel out of place in this man. That might be all he needs. Sees one. That's going to be the start. The second, the Reaper from up above. Durka just like a guillotine right now. Slicing through KRU, but Delzik at least puts up a fight back here. But you can see it just looks like right now Fnatic are just going to take this from them, rip it out of their hands. Magnum happy to take the fight as Nagza is the last one alive. And Fnatic destroy KRU in the first game of Masters.
It's just simply outclassed. That's the only way to describe that. KRU